Unfortunately, in our jobs, we deal with bad things all the time. This is a different level. It's a different level. And in reflection, it just makes me want to cry.
When a seasoned district attorney who prosecutes murders regularly breaks down at a press conference, you know something went horribly wrong. September 2025. Reading, Pennsylvania. 3 bodies, a husband, a wife, their 1-year-old baby, all from the same family, all gone within 48 hours. The man who confessed? 61-year-old Jose Luis Rodriguez. No criminal history, quiet, helpful, Dominican immigrant, just like the family he destroyed. He claims he had a relationship with 31-year-old Geraldina Peguero-Mancebo. Claims he was paying for a separate apartment for her, giving her money regularly. Claims she promised to leave her husband Junior Cabrera-Colon and be with him. Claims she was taking his money and lying to his face. But investigators made something very clear. They don't fully know what this relationship actually was. So was Rodriguez telling the truth about any of it? Or did he create an entire story to justify what he did? Geraldina Peguero-Mancebo and Junior Cabrera-Colon had been together since they were teenagers, back in the Dominican Republic. They built a real life together, 4 children. But like so many families in the Dominican Republic, they wondered if they could give their kids more. Better opportunities, a better future. The plan was simple. Leave 3 children with family back home. Come to the United States, get stable, find work, secure housing, then bring the children over once everything was in place. So they moved to Reading, Pennsylvania, with their youngest, baby Jaden. Reading isn't some massive city. Row homes, corner stores, warehouses on the outskirts, people clock in, clock out, stack paychecks. Junior and Geraldina both found work at warehouses off Route 61, just north of the city. Not glamorous work, but it was income, stability, the foundation they needed. The pressure was real. Every month that passed was another month their 3 older children were growing up without them. And that's where Jose Luis Rodriguez showed up. Rodriguez was 61 years old, Dominican, just like them. He'd been in the States longer, knew the system, had his green card. He worked at the same warehouses. That's how they met. People who knew Rodriguez described him as quiet, helpful, not the type to cause problems. No criminal record. None. For a young immigrant family trying to get stable, Rodriguez looked like exactly what they needed. Someone who'd already made it. Someone who understood. And Rodriguez didn't just offer advice. He offered real help. According to the Berks County District Attorney, Rodriguez co-signed the lease for the home where Junior and Geraldina were living with baby Jaden. That's huge for a family with no credit history in the country. Rodriguez put his name on that lease, made it possible for them to have a stable home. But that wasn't all. Investigators later discovered that Rodriguez had also rented a separate apartment for Geraldina at the Lincoln Tower Apartments off of 5th Street in Reading. And he wasn't just paying the rent. He was giving her money regularly. According to Rodriguez's own statements to police, he'd been financially supporting Geraldina for over a year. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. Why would a 61-year-old man rent an apartment for a 31-year-old married woman and give her money? That's not friendship. That's not help. You're right to question it. By early September 2025, bodies started appearing in Berks County. September 13th, patrol officers driving through Bear Park in Redding found Junior Cabrera-Colon's body in the brush along River Road. Shot. Gone. At that point, nobody knew Geraldina and Jaden were missing. Police had one victim, no immediate suspect. But as they investigated, they quickly realized Junior had a wife and a baby, and nobody had seen either of them since the day before. Family had been trying to reach Geraldina for days. Phone going straight to voicemail. No response to messages. Baby wasn't at home. Junior's relatives in New York were worried. Geraldina's mother, back in the Dominican Republic, was frantic. 6 days before this mother made that desperate plea to the public, her daughter and grandson were already gone. She just didn't know it yet. Police immediately opened a missing persons investigation for Geraldina and Jaden while simultaneously working Junior's case. And the more they dug, the more Jose Rodriguez's name kept coming up. Witnesses said Rodriguez and Junior knew each other, that Rodriguez had been around the family a lot, that he'd helped them financially. Police pulled phone records and saw that Geraldina's phone had been stationary in the area of East Huller Lane in Onalani Township, right near the Walmart in Muhlenberg Township. Her phone stopped moving, stopped pinging, just went silent in that one location. So investigators went out there. September 19th, they found Geraldina's body on an access road off East Huller Lane. She'd been there for a week, but Jaden wasn't with her. Police searched the area. The next day, September 20th, they found the baby approximately 150 yards west of where Geraldina had been. At that point, police had 3 bodies, a husband, a wife, a baby, all from the same family, all gone within 48 hours. And Jose Rodriguez was already in custody for Junior's case. By the time they found Geraldina and Jaden, Rodriguez had already confessed to Junior's death. He'd been arrested on September 19th and charged with first-degree murder. But now, with Geraldina and Jaden found, detectives sat Rodriguez down again, and that's when he confessed to all 3.
The defendant admitted that on Friday, September 12th, 2025, that he had picked up Geraldina and Jaden, and that it was his intention to drive to the area of East Huller Lane to kill Geraldina because she did not want to leave her husband, Junior Cabrera-Colon, that was the body that was found in Bear Park in the city of Redding. The defendant indicated to detectives that he was infuriated because he said that Geraldina was taking his money, and he admitted that he shot Geraldina in the back of the head in the area of Huller Lane in Onalani Township.
September 12th, 2025. A Friday. Neighbors later told police they saw Geraldina getting into Rodriguez's car with baby Jaden. Nobody thought anything of it. Rodriguez was always around. He was considered a family friend. Except this time, she wasn't coming back. Rodriguez told detectives he picked up Geraldina and Jaden that day with a specific intention. He was driving them to a remote area off East Huller Lane in Onalani Township with the plan to end Geraldina's life because she refused to leave her husband, taking his money. That's what Rodriguez kept coming back to. He felt used. He felt lied to. He felt like he'd invested in this woman, in this relationship, and she wasn't holding up her end of the deal.
The defendant then took Jaden down the street and threw him in a lake close to where Geraldina had been killed. The defendant confirmed that Jaden was alive when he threw him face down in the muddy water. Now, I referred to that as a lake. I think it's better referred to as a pond, an area of some water. It's nothing deep or anything like that.
The autopsy would later reveal there was no sign of external trauma on baby Jaden. He was alive when Rodriguez took his life in that water. The cause of death was determined to be freshwater drowning. The next day, September 13th, Rodriguez encountered Junior. According to Rodriguez's confession, they got into an argument about his involvement with Geraldina. Rodriguez claimed that Junior came at him with a gun. They fought, gun fell. Rodriguez grabbed it, shot Junior once. Self-defense, right? That's what he wanted police to believe. Except the district attorney made it clear at the press conference that Rodriguez's version isn't completely accurate. Partially accurate, meaning parts of his story don't add up. Maybe Junior didn't have a gun. Maybe there was no fight. Maybe Rodriguez hunted him down. What we do know is that Junior ended up shot, and Rodriguez admitted to putting Junior's body in Junior's own car and driving it to Bear Park in Reading, where he left it near the basketball courts. Here's how the police caught him, because Rodriguez didn't walk into the station and confess everything. He lied multiple times. Security cameras near Bear Park captured footage. And when detectives pulled that footage and studied it, they saw Rodriguez's car near the park around the time Junior's body was left there. When police questioned Rodriguez and showed him pictures of his vehicle, he claimed he couldn't see the vehicle clearly and didn't know if it was his or not.
He gave statements that were inconsistent. And the police followed up those statements and provided and presented video evidence to him, which really led to the police being able to obtain the truth. Because he initially, as many times, defendants don't come into the police station and lay it all out. That rarely happens. But the police did a thorough job in obtaining video evidence throughout the city of Reading and also from some other locations.
The video evidence backed him into a corner. That's when he had no choice but to tell the truth, or at least his version of it. Rodriguez even showed detectives where he'd hidden evidence. He took them to the 1500 block of North 5th Street, where they recovered Geraldina's purse and cell phone. He showed them the rear porch steps of a home in the 1500 block of Center Avenue, where they found the gun he'd used, a black 9mm semi-automatic handgun that had been reported stolen back in June 2025.
An autopsy indicated that Geraldina was shot in the skull, in the back of her skull. Her cause of death was a single gunshot wound. The autopsy for Jaden, the 1-year-old child, indicated there was no sign of external trauma. Jaden was alive at the time he was submerged into the water, and the autopsy revealed that there was mud in his lungs. The cause of death was determined to be freshwater drowning.
Rodriguez's story? Geraldina had been taking his money. She'd promised to leave Junior. She played him. He was infuriated, and in his mind, that justified what he did. To Geraldina, to her baby, to her husband. He wiped out an entire household because he felt disrespected. But here's where this gets complicated. When police interviewed Rodriguez after finding the bodies, he gave them his version. He and Geraldina were intimately involved, he claimed. She'd been splitting time between the apartment he paid for and her home with Junior and baby Jaden. Rodriguez claimed this had been going on for months, Geraldina going back and forth between the apartment and her home. He was under the impression she was going to leave Junior and be with him exclusively. He told investigators he believed there was a real future between them, a real relationship. He was waiting for her to make that choice, to leave her husband and commit to him. But here's the problem. Rodriguez is saying all this after Geraldina is gone, after she can't confirm or deny any of it. And investigators made it very clear during the press conference that they don't fully know the extent of this alleged relationship.
We know there was some sort of relationship, including the fact that Mr. Rodriguez had rented an apartment at the Lincoln Tower Apartments off of 5th Street for Peguero-Mancebo, but we don't know in depth the actual extent of this relationship. So I would hate to make a misstatement about that, but that will be part of our ongoing investigation to try to determine the relationship and what was involved. But no matter what, no one deserved to die.
So investigators know Rodriguez rented the apartment. They know he was giving her money. They know he claimed there was a romantic and intimate relationship. But what they don't know is whether Geraldina saw it the same way. Was this actually a mutual arrangement? Was she genuinely involved with Rodriguez and leading a double life? Or was this a man who provided financial support, developed feelings, and convinced himself there was more between them than there actually was? The truth matters because it explains why this happened. Think about where Geraldina was. New country, husband working, but not making enough to bring their 3 kids over yet. Money tight, pressure constant. Then here's this older man offering real help, co-signing leases, paying for an apartment, handing her cash. For a mother desperate to reunite with her children, that money could have felt like a lifeline. But was she paying for it in ways she didn't want to? Was Rodriguez expecting something in return? Did he make it clear his help had strings attached? Or, flip it, was Geraldina pursuing this arrangement, telling Rodriguez exactly what he needed to hear, taking the money, never intending to leave Junior, playing both sides, thinking nothing would blow up? Whatever the truth was, by early September 2025, Rodriguez was done waiting. At the press conference, the emotional toll was visible on everyone. The DA, the detectives, these are people who deal with cases regularly. Seasoned professionals. But this one hit different.
I don't think that any of us can imagine the tragedy that took place here and how horrific this crime was. The loss of life of these adults that were killed was unnecessary. The loss of life of that 1-year-old was cruel. It was horrible.
The death of that baby. That's what kept coming up at the press conference. Everyone kept circling back to Jaden. 1-year-old, caught in an adult conflict he had nothing to do with.
We look forward to the prosecution of this defendant. We will be considering filing a notice to seek the death penalty. We have not made any final decision as we speak, but I can't imagine anything more horrifying than throwing that 1-year-old child into that pond of water, and that child is left there to die.
What we do know is that 3 people are gone. Junior Cabrera-Colon, working to reunite his family in the States. Geraldina Peguero-Mancebo, 31 years old, mother of 4, and baby Jaden, 1 year old. And back in the Dominican Republic, 3 other children are now orphans. A 13-year-old girl, a 10-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy. They were waiting for their parents to bring them to Pennsylvania, waiting for their family to be whole again. Instead, they got the news. Their mother, father, and baby brother are all gone, taken by a man their parents trusted, a man who was supposed to help them. Rodriguez is currently being held at Berks County Jail with no bail. He's been in custody since September 19, 2025, awaiting trial. He faces 3 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts of third-degree murder, aggravated assault, abuse of corpse, and firearms charges. For the extended family grieving across 2 countries, the legal outcome won't bring their loved ones back. What it will do is hold Rodriguez accountable and make sure he can never do this to another family. Rest in peace to Junior, Geraldina, and baby Jaden.